In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a service principal using PAC CLI command. Now, before we even go into that topic, let me explain you what a service principal is. A service principal account is not a named user account. It is an account. Basically, no user can log into it with a username and password. So what it contains is basically it contains a secret, and the secret expires after some certain period of time. A Dataverse flow action can be run by a user account or a service principal. Now, in that case, service principal comes handy. Now, service principal, it does not need to be reassigned when the user leaves the organization. So, why people use service principal is because they don't want to tie the record or tie some processes to a user. So it is kind of a common account which is used by your organization, so that there is less dependency on the existing resources. Service principals have the system administrator role, and they can stay logged in permanently with a special type of permanent password called as a client secret. Now, no user can log into the service principal account, so that means you cannot log in. It is called as a non-interactive account for Dataverse with an elevated permissions. Now, in order to create a service principal, there are multiple steps. First, you need to log into portal.azure.com. Within Azure, you need to create an app registration. So first, you create an app registration. Then you register that application. Okay, and once you do that, you need to set some permissions. You need to set some request API permissions by adding a permission, and then you need to assign the CRM permission or a model driven app permission, um, a graph permission, uh, and then you create a secret. Okay, so there are multiple steps involved on it. So as you see over here in this entire screen, there are multiple steps involved in creation of app registration. Now, app registration is basically used as an application user. Now, application user is basically a special type of non-interactive user that can perform the task in Dataverse. We can link it to our application in Azure and give it system administrator privileges so it can be used as a service principal. Now, how do you assign that app user? First, you create something in Azure. You create that app registration in Azure, and then you log into Power Platform Admin Center. And here you go to application users. You create a new app user. You connect to that app user by providing the client ID. And then once you do that, then the app user is created, and then you can use that in Power Automate or any other application to connect with the service principal. Having said that, let me show you how it actually looks like. So, if you navigate to portal.azure.com here in Entra ID, so if you navigate to Microsoft Entra ID, there is an option called as app registration. So you go over here, you create a new registration. Once you create a registration, there are some things which you need to fill, right? The name, the supported account types, the redirect URI, and then once that app registration is created, you need to create the say, let me open one of the app registration which I have created. So let me open this app registration. Now in this app registration, we need to specify the authentication type. We need to specify the certificates and secrets. So secrets are created over here. So this is how you basically create. And then once all these things are done, so you get the name of this app registration. Say in my case, it's triple G 032024. Then you come to Power Platform, go into specific environment, under application users, go to application users, and then you need to add that app user from clicking on new app user. So there's a multi-step process. Now once you do that, you will find this ID over here with a prefix of hash in it. So it starts with hash and then the name of the application user or the service principal. Now these all steps, if you want to do this, it will take some time and it is a precise operation. If you make something wrong, then your service process may not run correctly. Now, PAC CLI allows you to do all this operation in a fraction of seconds. Now, how do we do that? For that, first you need to log into PowerShell. Okay, so you can pick up any PowerShell. I'm gonna pick up Windows PowerShell, run that as an admin. So I'm running this PowerShell as an admin, and let me clear it up and let me go to the root directory. So this is my PowerShell. Here, what we need to do is first we need to install PAC CLI. Now, if you do not have PAC CLI, then I would say just run this command and see what comes. Now, in my case, it is installed. It is showing me the latest version 1.31. In your case, it may have not been installed, or maybe you may have to update the PAC CLI version if it is not to the latest version. Once everything is done, you need to create an auth profile. Now, in my case, I've already created this auth profile, and that's why if you do the Speck auth list, you will see that. Let me show you full screen. Here, you will see that this uh, environment, Girish Dev environment, is already part of this auth list. Okay, so in your case, if it is not there, then what you can do, you can do pack auth create, and then specify the environment name, specify the name what you want, and then it will create that profile. I'm not going to go in that depth. Now, once you're done with all this thing, run this command pack admin. And in admin, like if you want to know some more help, you can do a double dash and put help, and then here you will see all the command available. Now there is a command which is called as create service principal, which we are going to work on. So it says it adds Microsoft Enter ID application and associated application user to the data environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the screen, and now I'll make use of notepad. Now in notepad, I'll just write the command pac admin create hyphen service hyphen principal dash dash environment id. So that's environment. Basically, you need to get the environment, what environment you want that to be in. I'll copy the environment id from the Power Platform Admin Center. I'll paste this. Once you do that, you need to specify the name. So I'll put dash dash name, and I'll put a single quote, and I'll name it as Girish Service Principal um, April 2024. Okay, so this is the name of that service principal, and the role which I want to give to the service principal is mostly a top level role. So I'll put dash dash role and give a system administrator role. So this is how the command looks like. So pack admin create service principal dash dash environment, the environment ID which you specify, name of the service principal, and the role as system administrator. If this command is correct, go to your PowerShell, paste it. Once you paste this command, it will connect to your tenant as you see over here. It will create that enter ID application. It will create the service principal. Now that is confirmed. It will register the application. It will create a Dataverse system user and assign the role. So as you see over here, it has done a multi-step process. Now, first thing what you need to do is once you run this command, copy this entire thing because this will get lost. You can retrieve other things, but you cannot retrieve the client secret. So it is very essential to copy this. So let me copy into the notepad, and then I'll explain you what all things have come over here. Now if you see, application name is Girish Service Principal April 2024. Now what changes it has done? So let's go to Azure. Now in here in Azure, if I go to app registration and if I go to all application, let me see the app registration is created or not. So I may need to refresh the screen. So I'll refresh the screen, and here you will see Girish Service Principal is created. ID starts with 9CF. We see here ID starts with 9CF. So it has created that service principal. Good. If I go inside the service principal, I can see there are secrets. Now you can't extract the secret because I told you you need to copy it. Here is the secret which we have copied, and we can utilize this secret. Now it has created a certificate, and it has created a secret. It has gone into authentication. It has added the redirect URI. So if you go into your overview, you will see that it has one secret. It has one public client URI. This is the object ID. This is the client ID. This is the tenant ID. All good. It has created everything what we wanted within a fraction of second. Now, what it had done in Power Platform. So if you go to Power Platform, if you go into the specific environment, say Girish Dev, and go to the settings, here Under application user, so users permission application user, here you will see that it has even added into the Power Platform Admin Center. So it has gone ahead and did that as well. So if you go into the details, here you will see the name, here you will see the service principal, the app ID, status, system administrator, and even it is connected to the default team, and this is the email address for it. So within just a fraction of second, it has created the service principal. Earlier it used to take like maybe 10-15 minutes of time with a precision. If you do not do it correctly, then sometimes your application may fail working. And this is a very easy way to create the service principal. So what I do is, like, I will recommend you to go ahead and use this command, pack admin create service principal, to create the service principal. Here you can specify the name, and here you can specify the role which needs to be assigned to that service principal. So that's it, folks. This is all pack CLI command, pack admin create service principal command, which you can use to create a service principal in Microsoft Power Platform Admin Center. Thanks for watching.